Let's talk about a stubborn number. For decades, the unemployment rate for Black Americans has been roughly double that of white Americans. Let that sink in. In a nation that sells itself on the promise of equal opportunity, that's not just a statistic. It's a flashing red light on our national dashboard, signaling a deep, systemic failure. It's a sign the system is broken. But what if we could actually fix it? We're not here to just stare at the problem. In this video, we're going to uncover the groundbreaking tech and powerful community initiatives that are successfully taking these discriminatory systems apart, piece by piece. We're going to explore real solutions that are working right now. If you want to solve a problem, you have to understand it. Racial bias in the workplace isn't always some cartoon villain in a corner office. It's often far more subtle, woven into the very DNA of how we hire, promote, and value people. It shows up in three main ways: personal bias, systemic bias, and a new, insidious version, techno-racism. Let's start with the one we all think of first, personal bias. This is all about the conscious and unconscious prejudices people hold. A landmark study from the University of Chicago and MIT laid this bare. Researchers sent thousands of identical resumes to real job ads. The only significant difference was the name at the top. Some had names that sounded stereotypically white, like Emily or Brendan, while others had names that sounded stereotypically Black, like Lakeisha or Jamal. The results were staggering. Applicants with white-sounding names were a full 50% more likely to get a callback. Let's make that real. To get one callback, Brendan had to send out 10 resumes. For the exact same job, with the exact same qualifications, Jamal had to send out 15. This leads directly to a phenomenon called resume widening. It's exactly what it sounds like. A follow-up study found that minority applicants who scrubbed their resumes of any clues about their ethnicity are more than twice as likely to get a callback. This could mean changing a name to sound more American, or deleting involvement in groups like a Black student union. Think about the psychological weight of that. Being told that to even get your foot in the door, you have to erase part of who you are. More than a third of minority students admitted to doing it, and about 40% knew someone who did, all because they feared their application would be tossed in the trash unfairly. But the problem runs deeper than one person's decision. It's systemic. This is when the policies, practices, and the way things have always been done inside a company create unequal outcomes, even if no one is trying to be prejudiced. For example, tons of companies rely heavily on employee referrals. On the surface, it makes sense, it's efficient. But if your workforce is mostly homogeneous, who do you think they're going to refer? People in their networks, which are often also homogeneous. If a company's leadership is mostly white, and their networks are mostly white, that referral pipeline is going to keep producing more white candidates. No evil plan required. That original resume study uncovered a depressing systemic truth, too. Being more qualified didn't fix the problem. When researchers sent out resumes with stronger credentials, the highly qualified white applicants got 30% more callbacks than their less qualified white counterparts. But for Black applicants, having better qualifications only led to a 9% bump. The system wasn't rewarding merit equally. The bias was so strong it actively devalued the very experience that should have made someone a top candidate. And now, we have a new frontier of bias, techno-racism. We like to think computers are objective, right? Just ones and zeros. But the AI systems being built to streamline hiring are often trained on decades of old hiring data. And if that data is biased, the AI simply learns the bias. It learns that resumes with certain names, or from certain zip codes, were hired less in the past, so it continues the pattern, automatically and at a massive scale. An AI designed to find the best candidates might just find candidates who look like the people who've always been hired, creating a high-tech echo chamber of past discrimination. People have already filed lawsuits claiming they were screened out by biased AI. This isn't science fiction, it's happening right now. When you mix these forces, individual prejudice, baked-in company practices, and biased new tech, you start to see why that shocking unemployment gap isn't just a number. It's the logical, painful result of a failing system. But seeing the problem clearly isn't a reason to give up. It's the first step to building something better. And that's what we're here to do. So, if technology can learn our biases, can we engineer it to ignore them? The answer, it turns out, is a resounding yes. A new wave of innovators is building tools designed to short-circuit bias at the source, creating a fairer playing field before a human ever sees a name or a face. The most direct solution is AI-powered blind resume screening. We know from those studies that a name can be a massive barrier. So, what if you just took the name away? Tools from companies like OptiMatch do exactly that. Their software automatically redacts or anonymizes personal info, the candidate's name, address, graduation dates which can hint at age, and even the names of their schools, which can be proxies for class or race. What's left is pure merit, skills, experience, and accomplishments. The AI parses this information, standardizes it, and presents a slate of candidates to a recruiter based solely on their ability to do the job. That simple act of hiding a name directly diffuses the unconscious bias that the Emily and Brendan study proved was so powerful. Platforms like X0PAI even take it a step further, using their tech to actively match skills to job requirements and rank candidates by fit and potential, all done completely blind. But what about the interview, where bias can creep back in? Tech has an answer there too. Companies like HireVue have pioneered structured, video-based AI assessments. Instead of a free-flowing chat where a recruiter's mood can influence the questions, every single candidate gets the exact same role-based questions. The AI can then analyze the content of their answers for key skills and problem-solving approaches. While these systems need careful oversight, the goal is to standardize the process, making it less about how an interviewer feels about a candidate, and more about what they can actually do. And then there's one of the coolest innovations, gamified assessments. Let's be real, the traditional hiring process can feel like a pop quiz you can't study for. Gamification flips that entirely. Companies like Arctic Shores and Pymetrics are creating interactive, game-like scenarios that measure a candidate's actual abilities in a way that's more engaging and objective. Instead of asking, "Are you a good problem solver?" they'll give you a complex puzzle to solve against the clock. Instead of asking, "How do you handle risk?" you might play a game that involves making strategic choices with different rewards. These assessments measure cognitive skills, decision-making, and even personality traits, without ever asking about your background. And it works. After implementing these kinds of assessments, Deloitte saw early attrition rates drop by 50%, and Unilever cut their time to hire by 75%. A report also found that 62% of hiring managers felt these tools led to fairer evaluations. They're effective because they measure what you can do, not what your resume says you've done. Finally, and perhaps most powerfully, we're seeing a reckoning inside the tech industry itself. A perfect case study is IBM's public withdrawal from the facial recognition market in 2020. Amid growing proof that these technologies were less accurate for women and people of color, and during a national conversation on racial justice, IBM's CEO wrote a letter to Congress. He announced they would no longer offer general-purpose facial recognition, citing fears of its use for mass surveillance and racial profiling. Amazon and Microsoft quickly followed, pausing sales of their own systems to police. This wasn't just a business move, it was an ethical stand. It showed that companies have a responsibility to test for bias and ensure the tools they build don't create new, more powerful forms of discrimination. Look, tech is a great tool, but it's not a magic wand. The fight against bias isn't just about code, it's about connection, mentorship, and empowerment. All across the country, community-led organizations are doing the essential, on-the-ground work of building pathways to opportunity for Black professionals, providing the resources and support systems that have historically been out of reach. These aren't just charities, they are engines of economic mobility. Let's look at some of the powerhouses. One of the most successful is INROADS. Founded on the mission to develop and place underrepresented talent, it's the largest nonprofit in the world doing this work. They provide a multi-year program of coaching, mentorship, and paid internships with over 1,000 corporate partners. To date, they've prepared over 154,000 students for the workforce. INROADS finds talented students early, gives them the soft skills and corporate navigation training needed to succeed, then places them in real-world jobs where they can prove themselves. It's a holistic approach that closes the gap between raw talent and real opportunity. Another giant is the 100 Black Men of America. It's the nation's top African-American-led mentoring organization, built on the profound idea that, if you can see it, you can be it. Chapters connect young Black men and women with established professionals who act as mentors and role models. One mentee, Bryce Logan, said of his time in the Knoxville chapter, "Watching my mentors in different scenarios have shown me how to act and conduct myself." My mentors are a part of the reason why I am the young man that I am today. It's about more than career advice. It's about life skills and seeing a tangible vision of your own future success. And this isn't just feel-good stuff. The data backs it up. A survey found that Black professionals with mentors feel more trust in their companies and are more comfortable asking for help. Mentorship is a crucial defense against the isolation many Black professionals feel in corporate America. There's also a powerful network of discipline-specific groups, like the National Society of Black Engineers, NSB, and the National Association of Black Accountants, NABA. These organizations create communities where Black professionals can connect with peers and leaders who look like them, build social capital, and find support in their specific fields. For students, groups like ColorStack are doing the same for the next generation of Black and Latinx computer science grads. The impact of these programs can be life-changing. Take Reek Denson, a student at Georgia State University's Perimeter College. After struggling in a stats course, he joined the college's Black Male Student Mentoring Initiative. He said, "The Black Men's Mentoring Group has done more for me throughout my college trajectory than I could ever ask for." Thanks to that support, he's on track to be the first person in his family to get a college degree. These initiatives work because they don't just fix resumes, they build confidence. They don't just teach interview skills, they build networks. They are building the next generation of leaders. We've seen the problem and we've seen the solutions, from smart AI to the power of human connection. But the fight against racial bias isn't a spectator sport. It needs all of us. So, here are 3 real things you can do to be part of the solution. First, look at your own workplace. Start a conversation. Ask your HR department, "Hey, are we using any tools to reduce bias in our hiring?" Send them a link to this video. Suggest they look into blind resume screening or gamified assessments. You don't have to be the CEO to be a catalyst for change. Just asking the question can plant a seed that grows into real policy. Second, support the organizations doing the work. We talked about incredible groups like INROADS, 100 Black Men of America, and ColorStack. Look them up. See if there's a local chapter. They thrive on 2 things, volunteers and donations. If you have professional experience, sign up to be a mentor. A few hours a month can change the course of a young person's career. If you don't have time, consider a donation. Even a small amount helps fund the workshops and scholarships that create these opportunities. Third, and this is the easiest one, share this video. The battle against bias starts with awareness. A lot of well-meaning people just don't know how deep this problem is, or that these incredible solutions even exist. When you share this, you move the conversation from, "The problem is too big," to, "Here are things that are actually working." Your share could be the spark that gets someone else to take action. We started with that stark statistic, the persistent 2-to-1 unemployment gap between Black and white Americans. It's a number that represents a systemic failure. But as we've seen, that number isn't our destiny. We've seen how technology can be used for good, creating tools that blind themselves to our biases and focus only on merit and skill. We've seen how AI can be designed not to repeat the past, but to actively dismantle it. We've also been reminded of the irreplaceable power of community. We've seen how organizations built on mentorship are creating resilient networks for Black professionals, providing the guidance and confidence to navigate systems that weren't built for them. The stories from these programs show that when we invest in people, we unlock limitless potential. The path forward isn't a single lane. It's a multi-lane highway, needing tech innovation, corporate accountability, and the deeply human work of community building. Neither tech nor community can solve this alone. But together, they form a powerful pincer movement against bias. The code can open the door, and the community can make sure that when someone walks through it, they are supported, valued, and set up to win. The goal isn't just to close a statistical gap. The goal is a future where your name is just your name, not a barrier. A future where potential is seen and nurtured, no matter what zip code it comes from. A future where every company, at every level, reflects the true diversity and talent of our society. This future isn't a dream. The tools and the blueprints are already here. The work is underway. And with all of us pushing forward, it's a future we can, and will, build together. What are your thoughts on this? Have you seen any of these solutions in action? Share your experiences and ideas in the comments below. And for a deeper dive, be sure to watch our next video, where we'll explore the role of bias in the criminal justice system.